Good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here. We just want to introduce ourselves a little bit. My name is Carol, and I was born in St. Paul, Minnesota. And when I was 8 years old, I went to Brazil with my parents, Warren and Shirley Kuiper, as missionaries. So I've lived there practically my whole life. And when I first started going to high school there, I found a new friend, and it happened to be his sister. And we did a lot of schoolwork together, and that is how I met Bernardo. And I was introduced to him as the annoying brother. But yeah, that didn't take long to fall. Okay. So Bernardo's family went to Brazil from Germany, and so we have this in common of being foreigners, I guess. But he was born in Brazil. And we've been married almost 43 years now. And the Lord has blessed us with 7 sons. And all of them love the Lord very much and are all involved in ministry one way or another. And that is, we could not have asked for more than that. So I guess now it's you.
Well, when I first met Carol, she was not annoying to me. And I really felt something. But coming from a Roman Catholic background, I consider myself a Christian. So later on, when I asked her to be my girlfriend, she started talking about the Bible and things that I thought that had nothing to do with the conversation. And then later she tried to explain the gospel to me, but I was focused in something else and I was not really understanding. So finally she asked me to talk to her dad, so her dad will explain to me some things. And I understood that she wants me to ask her dad permission to date her. And so I went there and I talked to her dad for, breaking the ice. And all of a sudden I found the Bible in my hand. And my father-in-law, he was a missionary in Brazil, planting churches in the city of Araraquara at the place where I was raised. And he started explaining me things. And he had a very special way to bring the message, and it really conquered my heart. I really felt very challenged with the message, and I accept the Lord as my Savior. And then he invited me to come back and study the Bible with him. Of course, I have many reasons to come back. So I went back. And it was a very special family. They are a very loving family, and I felt really at home, especially with the good cooking of her mother, and being present in the presence of Carol too. And it was really a joy to study with my father-in-law, and he was a very good, master teacher. So we did start studying a lot, and then later I understand why Carol was reluctant concerning getting involved with me, because I wasn't saved and I was not having the same heart for the things of the Lord. And it didn't take long to start to participate in the church there, and also becoming more and more dedicated to the church. Pretty soon I was the youth leader, and not pretty soon, it took quite a while to learn a lot. But one of the things that really challenged me those days was that my father-in-law, he had a very difficult way to express himself in Portuguese. Brazil is a huge country. It's a little smaller than the United States. If you take Alaska out of the United States, Brazil is bigger. So in our country, it's the only country in South America that speak only Portuguese. And and Portuguese is not a very easy language to learn. So my father-in-law was having a hard time because he came to Brazil in his later years. So finally, I decided that I could help him. While he was explaining to the youth group the message, I have to interrupt him several times to explain to the people what he was willing to say. And soon he asked me, well, let's do different. I will teach you the lesson and you teach them the lesson. And that was a very tricky way he got me involved. But finally, I really like it. I really like it. So pretty soon we were completely involved, and I learned how to play the guitar when I was in my younger age. So I offered myself to play in the church, and pretty soon I was involved all the way to up to my neck, and also we finally started dating, and 3 years later we married. And after that we moved down to Santa Catarina, and later we got involved with a couple of missionaries from TCM, Vernon and Arlene Anderson, and we started to help them. And then later we came to the States for deputation and visit churches, and we changed missions. We went to Word of Grace Mission, and we have been working with them since then. And now, that again? Okay, so I'm gonna, oh, there's a, okay. What song? Okay. Oh, okay. So our ministry is basically personal evangelism. This is very strong with me since the beginning. And then we start home Bible studies with people that we were able to reach. And then, of course, after the Bible studies developed, we have a group that we could start calling a church. And then we start developing those group of people, leading them, and start looking for people that will be able to be trained to be leading the ministry and helping us. And as we were planting one church, I was already starting several Bible studies in different cities around the area of the city of Tijucas where we are. And then we started training leaders to those churches. But we did have a lot of good opportunities to teach about marriage relationship. There's something very important in our ministry. We also dedicate a lot of time for teaching, learning and teaching parenting classes for the people in our church. And also we did have a radio ministry, a prison ministry, and a ministry that I have with like rehab ministry to help people that were in the drugs and teach them about the Bible and give them some hope. And later we were able to acquire property. In later years we were able to acquire a property to develop a camp. So this is the area where we are in Brazil. We are very south Brazil. We are in the state of Santa Catarina. There is only one state under us in the direction of Argentina and Uruguay and Argentina. And we are placed very close to the capital of the state, the city of Florianópolis. And let's see, where is it? It's here? No, over here. Tijuca is there. That's Tijucas over there. And Florianopolis is down here. And we live about 40 minutes north of Florianopolis, capital. And we were able to reach the area of the cities over here, all the way to Blumenau, Brusque, São João Batista, Canelinha here, and also the city of Biguaçu, that is very close to Florianopolis. Biguaçu is considered metropolitan area of Florianopolis. And at Biguaçu, we start our first church. And wait. And then we were living in Florianopolis. We tried to work in the big city. We didn't have much result, especially because the rent was too high. We could barely make it there. So we decided to move farther out of the city, and that's when we started in Biguaçu. And then later we moved to Tijuca for the same reason. The rent was too high in the Florianopolis metropolitan area, so we moved to Biguaçu. We moved to Tijucas, but we still minister to Biguaçu. And then later in Tijucas, we were very welcome, and we had a good sized group there. And from there, we started reaching the city of São João Batista, and also later to Brusque and the other cities around. So this is the cities we are currently teaching. We have 4 churches that we are ministering now. This is my father and my mother in the left picture, and my father-in-law and my mother-in-law in the right picture. Those dear people. And this is us. And this is right now the mission team working in Brazil. We are in the left there. In the middle we have Wessel and Daisy Oliveira. They are working in our literature ministry, translating Grace literature into Portuguese. And they are doing a great job. And also my son Paul, that he also became a missionary working in Brazil in the big city of São Paulo, São Paulo. São Paulo is a city of 22 million people, and he is starting working with college students and other people. He's doing a wonderful ministry there. And here we have pictures of our first church, the Grace Bible Church of Biguaçu. And the leader of that church, his name is Rogério, he died a couple of years ago of pancreatic cancer. He was doing a great job there, but the Lord had different plans, and he's with the Lord now. So we actually, right now, I'm ministering. I went back to ministry in that church, hoping to train a leader for that church. And this is other pictures from that same church, the Sunday school classes and all the. Okay. This is the second church we started, the city of in the city of Tijucas, and we are actually we used to have a building downtown, and the termites got into the roof, the trusses, and we have to, and because of the tiles were ceramic tiles, very heavy, we decided to have to take the roof down. And while we did that, we went to the church started meeting at our camp. And after meeting in our camp for quite a while, the church doesn't want to go back down to city. They really want to be meeting at the camp. So we decided we will concentrate our efforts in developing special areas at camp to have the Church of Tijucas and also the camp activities there. So those are pictures of our different ministries we developed there. Picnics and different potlucks, inviting people to come, and the church has been growing since then. So those are different pictures of our area. Later you can go to our display outside and see more pictures over there from our activities that we have. And this is what you call the multi-ministry property. That was this building right here. Oops, let's go back. This building right here, we also got termites on it. And so we are looking for now, our next project is to build something more permanent so we can meet and have special meetings when we have camps and everything. And this is a kind of expensive project, but that's where we'll have to go. And then we have other pictures of different activities in our camps. Yeah, I think you can recognize this guy here. Ana Clara over here? Yeah. Okay. So then this is the Church of São João Batista. São João Batista have a very interesting story because São João Batista it was very, very Roman Catholic city. And because I was raised in the Catholic Church, I understand the way the Roman Catholic people think. And so I developed a special way to reach people with the gospel that I call ingredients without recipe method. Because I understand the Catholic Church, they do have some of the ingredients of our faith, but they don't have the recipe. So they actually cannot enjoy the cake. And this is one of the main reasons I start really working with the Catholics there. We have a lot of good success. And there was a man in that city, his name was Elton, and he was a deacon in the Catholic Church, and he came to one of our meetings, and after the Bible study was over, he came to me and said, I never heard something so wonderful. I really want to learn from the Bible, but I can't come here because the Catholic Church has communicated me. So he asked me, could you go to my house? I said, well, yes. So I started going to his house, and pretty soon he was inviting all kinds of people coming from the Catholic Church to his house. There we could meet, and I was start teaching them the Bible. Pretty soon we have over 40 people studying the Bible, and many of them were catechists and leaders from the different groups that they have in the Catholic Church. The priest didn't know anything about it. As we develop, many times the priest was performing the mass in the church here, and the side of the church, the Catholic Church, they have always a hall for special meetings. And while the priest was performing the mass here, I was teaching 80 young people inside the Catholic building, teaching the Bible. It was amazing. We call that church the underground church inside the Catholic Church. It was a kind of an adventure until the Bishop of Florianopolis found out, and he sent other priests there to try to stop that group. But at that time when that happened, I was not teaching them anymore because I have been training those guys, and they were able to teach the Bible, and they're still doing it until today. It is amazing. But several people that were from part of that group, that they thought that they didn't like it to be participating in the Catholic Church, they left, and this we have a church with several of those people now today. And many of them, they were so interested that we were able to train them for the ministry. So this is one of the many Bible studies we have, and those all from that group of São João Batista, there was 5 men that came to study with me, seriously willing to serve the Lord and the ministry. So as I trained them, I used to call them the Wonderful 5. And 4 of those guys today, they have been, they are the elders of our churches, and they are doing a great job. And each one of them, from the 5, they are teaching, they have their own Bible studies, and they are starting new groups of, just like the way we started in the beginning. And so this is Criciúma. Criciúma, it's a very nice experience that I have when we were looking for a car for us. And this lady from Criciúma, this 3 hours away from us, south, she had this car for sale. And I went there, and in the process of buying the car, I shared the gospel with her. And I wish I could tell you the whole story. It was really exciting. But she ended up inviting us to go to her house and make lunch for us and stay for the day. And she asked thousands of questions, and we start having a wonderful relationship. And we start going back there and she starts inviting all kinds of people, and today we have a church there. So, and that group right now is one of the most, you'll say growing, because they are so excited, and most of the people there are young, and they are in school, and they invite other people to come, and they keep growing. And they have several things they do. They promote, they like to come to our camp and organize camps. They are very, very capable of doing many things. So we are very excited about them. While we were here already this last year, they organized a big camp, and it was one of the biggest camps we ever heard. And they did everything. They organized everything. And so we are so happy to see that, how much they're growing. So this is another kind of activity they do. They like to invite people for a trail hike. And they invite other young people, believers or non-believers, and they come, and the process of walking, they start sharing the gospel with people, and at the end, we have a lot of good results. So we are very happy to share with you. Like this group of people was invited by a girl, was she 11? 13 now. And she just invited her school friends to come to our place. This is just by our property there. And they have a picnic, and all of them heard the gospel, and several of them committed their hearts to the Lord. It was really very impressive. For a girl of 13 years old, she was so excited. So this is a picture of our leaders. We have Jason. Here's our son number 4. And we have here Jai, Felipe, Adriano here, and Belchior. And they are our good men that are helping our ministry. And right now in Brazil, they are just taking care of everything, teaching and preaching and doing all the ministry there. Oh, okay. And those guys, this is Ismai, and the lady that I told you about the car is this one, Graziella. And Graziella ended up marrying Ismai, and Ismai is very interested in the ministry. So he's one of our potential leaders that we are going to be training when I go back to Brazil. And Eberton also. Eberton is fluent in English. He learned English, so it's easier to train him because he understands the language, and he's already doing BBI, Burn Bible Institute branch in Brazil, and he's doing really growing a lot. And also we have Ricardo. Ricardo is another man. He lives in our property there. Actually, we want him to be living there to take care of the property while we are here. So he's also very interested in learning and becoming a leader in the future. So those are the things. We would like to ask your prayers for us, if you are able to help us, praying for us, and we need encouragement. you know, we when we are in the front, and we call the front line.
Yeah, that's the name of the church here.
Yeah, it is very. It's important for you to know that, especially when we started the ministry in Brazil, we were alone. My father-in-law was living 600 miles away, so it was, and we're basically ourselves, and we didn't have much, support. But we do know that many people have been praying for us, and we would like to ask you for your prayers that we continue on, that God will give us health and strength to continue the work. Okay, I think that's what we have for now.
Thanks, Bernardo. But I had a quick question. You say all your buildings are being eaten up by termites. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, how are you replacing them? I'm just curious. Yeah, not going to be wood. So that was the only thing. So.
Well, the problem was that we didn't have the money to buy the quality of wood that termites don't get in. Most of the, like eucalyptus and everything that is accessible, affordable, the termites love them. And Brazil is a tropical country, and if you put too much poison on that thing, you're going to start killing you. So we're going to have to start doing something different than that.
Well, thank you. We look forward to hearing more later on. So, thanks.